Hello to all my salty over 60s. Welcome back to Salty Talk Wednesdays. Today we are going to talk all about why it feels like we are literally shopping in an absolute fashion desert. And I will be following some notes today here, so you'll have to bear with me as I look down to follow the notes. I don't want to forget anything because I had a lot to cover and I cannot memorize it all. So let's get into it. So we're going to talk about why the struggle to find clothes that flatter you this summer is real. It is not your imagination. It is a fact that women over 50 are in a fashion desert. I have been so frustrated personally trying to shop for spring and summer clothing that flatters my body, that works with a body that is over 60. And it's just a fact that right now what we are seeing out with all retailers is there are very few retailers who are serving women over 60. So I wanted to find out why that was. So I went and did a little bit of research using AI or ChatGPT. I worked as an editor for over 10 years and a writer for the last 10 years. So I have a lot of experience with doing a lot of research, and I just got my curiosity. So here is what ChatGPT had to say about this fashion desert for women over 60. It said, according to Forbes, women aged 50 and older control an estimated 15 trillion in spending power, accounting for approximately 27% of all consumer spending. Despite this, only 5 to 10% of marketing budgets are directed toward this demographic, leaving many feeling overlooked. I would say so. It also said, and I'm not familiar with the name of the site, it was called Get Nux Fashion United. They reported that in the United States, women aged 55 and older spend an average of $81 per month on clothing, the lowest among all age groups. However, this figure may reflect a lack of appealing options rather than limited interest, as nearly half of women over 40 feel unrepresented in fashion marketing. I know I certainly do, and we're going to talk about that here shortly. I don't know how old this article is, but I think that mature women spend a whole lot more than $81 per month on clothing. I think that it's just a harder grind for us to find things that look appropriate for us. Okay, so let's take a moment to reflect on this data. If you are over 60 and you enjoy fashion, you know that when you are looking for clothing, what you are seeing in 2025 are styles that do not work for most of our mature bodies. I personally am chronically online because, as I mentioned, I researched and wrote articles for years and years and years. And so it's just, I'm just chronically online. And so it's natural for somebody like me to do my shopping online. So here I just pulled from shopping online 2 examples from Zara and Abercrombie to show you the majority of what is being offered by almost every single retailer out there. Everywhere, and I do mean everywhere, the style of clothing we are offered are very form-fitting and cropped. Tops and blouses that are off the shoulder with open backs or other cuts, maybe at the waist or somewhere like that, that make it difficult to wear a supportive bra with or cause us to show skin or parts of the body we would really rather not highlight. I mean, obviously, there are exceptionally beautiful women. Just beautiful women. These are what I like to term the successful golden girls that we see on social media all the time. They are just as trim and just as beautiful, if not more, than the younger women or even younger models. And I am all here for them. I applaud how they are storming social media and marketing, making mature women more visible and also more fashionable, because this is what we need exposure so that those that are manufacturing and making clothes see that we're visible, see that we're interested, see that we're looking to still participate in the fashion world. I can say that I 100% back these brave women over 60 that get out there and put themselves out there on social media, because they get some of the most disparaging remarks from a generation that does not venerate older ladies, does not see the beauty in older women. And the more that we put ourselves out there, the more that we are visible in this marketplace, we hope that the brands will close that gap. Okay, I have another little nugget that I wanted to share with you that I got from Chat GPT. It said that globally, women constitute 51% of the apparel market and 53% of luxury fashion sales. Yet the 55 plus age group comprises only 6% of online fashion buyers, compared to 34% for those aged 25 to 34. This disparity suggests an untapped opportunity for brands to better serve a mature customer. Okay, that's really all very interesting and everything, you might be saying, but how am I supposed to get dressed? Where am I supposed to find clothes that flatter my body? Let's talk about that. Okay, so we're going to get primal and tap into our inner huntress. Ancient man didn't just sit around and starve to death when they knew their last meal was almost gone. No, they were always on the hunt. And we need to take our cues from them. We have to change our mindset from feeling defeated in this atmosphere to one of that as a conqueror. First, let's think about this. If you're going to take that huntress mindset, you don't hunt for the right thing in the wrong season. And second, you don't hunt with the wrong weapon. And what is our weapon, ladies? It's our keyboards. Part of that statistic that I just read to you talked about how the older 50 and above crowd are not shopping online. And again, I'm chronically online. I don't understand that mindset of people who do not like to shop online. If you have taken the time to take your measurements and, just jot them down somewhere and you have those notes, it is very easy to shop online. And, if you take your time to read all of the descriptions, what the fabric's made out of, what's the composition of that fabric. There's a lot of information we can glean online, and I think retailers have become much, much better about that. And most places have a pretty decent return policy. So I think that if you have been holding back and you're not somebody who likes to shop online, you're really missing out. So yeah, we absolutely need to be hunting with the right weapon, or as Elvis Presley famously said, you ain't nothing but a hound dog and you ain't nothing but a hound dog and you ain't no friend of mine, and you've never caught a rabbit, something like that. But you don't stop there. We have to get on Instagram and Pinterest. If you are not on these platforms, again, you can't stalk these gorgeous outfits that you may see on other women, other people. You can't get fresh ideas. You absolutely do need to be on these platforms so that, let's say you come across an older lady who has this just gorgeous outfit that just dazzles you. You want to be able to go down and read in her description, well, where did she get that? Who made that? Who's selling that particular item? These are all things that we can do to help bridge that gap between, what marketing is showing us and how we can better be served as an underserved market. So it's not just hunting retailers online that serve us, but fair or not, we're going to have to work for our supper. Okay, so let's talk about the retailers that do cater to mature women. But before we do that, I want to talk about the dangers of some of these retailers that exclusively market to older women. Do avoid some of these retailers that I am showing you. They are showing the same outfits that they made for mature women in 2000, so as they are today in 2005. The clothes are not flattering. They look dated and stale. And you can do better. We can do better. In fact, I find some of these retailers downright insulting. I'm not going to call out who these particular retailers were, but I know that you have seen these clothes before. They just look so dowdy, so out of touch, so stale. Nothing imaginative, creative, or beautiful about this clothes. Where is the good hunting ground? So I've got a few retailers that I'm going to mention here. Get out a pencil, get out a pen, jot these names down, and take a moment to visit those websites. The first one is one that I just recently discovered. It is called White Stuff. They have beautiful clothes, well-made clothes for mature women. The next one is Boden. I absolutely love Boden. I believe Boden comes out of the UK. Very easy to shop for, however, if you're in the United States, because I have purchased things from Boden. Now, in my last fashion video that I did for Sunday, I had purchased this blouse that I was wearing from H&M that when I was in the mall. That particular H&M in our mall, in our town, it was pretty sparse. They didn't have a lot. But one of the reasons that made me curious to go in there was because online, they have a lot of nice things in there. So depending on, what your style is, what your body type is, H&M goes from like extra small to extra, I think it just goes to extra large. But I bought all extra large. I'm a large woman. All of the things that I purchased in there fit me beautifully. So that's another store I would want to mention to you. Target has a line of clothing called their New Day line. And I have had success with that. In fact, a lot of the linen pants that I purchased and even cotton button-up shirts, they are at such a low price point. And, they have the modern cuts. And, it's something that us mature ladies can wear. Garnet Hill is another online retailer that I love going and looking at their clothes. But I will tell you, they're on the higher end. So I haven't actually purchased anything from Garnet Hill. And ASOS is another brand that I go to because they have a lot of very modern pieces. And yet they have a lot of more classic cuts, more things that work for our type of body, particularly if you're going in with something in mind that you're looking to purchase. I really believe that you'll be able to find it at ASOS. I also love shopping at Banana Republic. I used to like shopping at Mango. Mango's gotten, they're just not for me anymore. However, Banana Republic has some beautiful clothes. However, they too, if you look at their website this year, many of their clothes are the form-fitting, cropped tops. There's, that seems to be the whole look with this wide leg pants. I think that's another reason why we are dealing with what is out there with all these crop shirts. It's like, somebody took that rule of, baggy on bottom and saying, well, we're going to make it really, form-fitting on top. And that's fine, but it doesn't work for everybody's type of body. So the last person I would mention that you may want to check out, she has a new line at QVC, and that is Stacy London, the style guru. She hit menopause and decided that nothing out there fit her, and so she introduced her own line of clothing. I personally have not checked that out yet, but I do know that that's out there. So these are just some ideas for you to peruse. We just have to remain in that hunting mentality. We have to be the huntress because, there are going to be other seasons and other years that it's easier to dress for women over 60. I just think it's very difficult this year because of the number of crop tops and form-fitting type of clothing that is out there. But, summer is always going to probably be a little more difficult for us mature women simply because we don't have the bodies that we did when we were in our 20s and 30s and do not want to wear a lot of things that were out there. We also have the experience of knowing we don't want to have a special bra for every different cut of blouse we have or wearing something uncomfortable. And so we have that experience. That's the sail behind the wind behind our sails. We know better than that. But yes, it's not fair and it's nothing new. But I think if we go into it with the right attitude, we can find what we are looking for. And I understand that, a lot of people, I enjoy the hunt online actually more than I do going to the store because I rarely find anything, at least in my town, I don't find anything in store that appeals to me. It's usually the very, very basics that they offer people because they're not getting a lot of foot traffic. If you go back and think about that statistic that I talked about shopping online. And let's face it, if you are between, your 20s and being 34 years old, you're building your career, or you're being a full-time mommy, or you are busy, busy, busy. To take that time and have that focus that you need to go to a physical store and shop is very difficult. And these young women have, jumped on board online shopping, and we need to do the same. I would encourage you to do that, and I would encourage you to not give up. There are things out there for us, and we shouldn't take that, oh, woe is me attitude. We deserve to look good. We deserve to dress good. We're just going to have to work a little bit harder for it. Okay, so I am going to end today on this note about the Huntress, because I'm a little bit of a nerd, and also because I looked it up to make sure that my wording was precise today. And here's what I found about the Huntress. It says, the Huntress feminine archetype is one of the foundational aspects of the 7 feminine archetypes. She represents a strong, independent, and empowered woman who is self-reliant and deeply connected to her instincts and inner strength. So in the words of Shania Twain, let's go, girls.